My Lord and my God, I firmly believe that you are here, that you see me, that you hear me. I adore you with profound reverence. I ask you for pardon of my sins and grace to make this time of prayer fruitful. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me. The final part of the Gospel for today's feast of the Epiphany, which of course is not celebrated today in all countries, but in most countries I think we celebrate the feast of the Epiphany here on the 6th. In some places it's moved to the Sunday. But that final part of the Gospel reads like this, talking about the Magi following the star. And there in front of them was the star they had seen rising. It went forward and halted over the place where the child was. The sight of the star filled them with delight. And going into the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and falling to their knees, they did him homage. Then, opening their treasures, they offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. But they were warned in a dream not to go back to Herod, and returned to their own country by a different way. Well, imagine these three wise men, or kings, or magi, as they're also known, and they've journeyed to Bethlehem from some unknown country, hundreds and hundreds of kilometers away from Bethlehem. Perhaps the journey has even taken them months to complete. But when they get to Bethlehem, we see that they did not come empty-handed, but they had these exotic and very expensive gifts to offer to Jesus. We're told they're opening their treasures. They offered him gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. Gifts directly for Jesus, offered to the little infant Jesus. So we could say today is the day when finally Jesus gets his birthday presents. Of course, you, Jesus, were too young to say thank you, but we can imagine Joseph and Mary saying Toda Rabbah in Hebrew, thank you very much, to the three wise men. They are so grateful. They would have been filled with gratitude also hearing the story of their long, long journey, and thinking these men have been so good and so generous as to come all this way. But not only that, but they've been so thoughtful as to bring these very expensive gifts, the gold, frankincense and myrrh, which are very expensive items. Now today, the Epiphany, sadly, marks the end of the 12 days of celebration of Christmas. And we could ask ourselves, looking at Our Lady and Saint Joseph and their gratitude to the kings, am I grateful, am I aware of the things that had been done for me over this Christmas? Am I really grateful, and do I express my gratitude? Recently, a mother was telling me about her son, her young son, who had written a thank you letter to Santa Claus. And I must say, when I heard that, I was filled with a bit of guilt, because it never occurred to me to ever write a thank you letter to Santa. Certainly we all send letters telling Santa what we want for Christmas, but then we get them, hopefully, but where's the thank you letter? So I was very impressed by that, but also a little bit guilty, because I had never sent thank you letters to Santa Claus. But thinking of, for example, the maybe lovely Christmas meals that we have received Christmas Day and over this period in general, am I grateful for that? Here in this country, in Ireland, we have a custom on today's feast of allowing the ladies, the women of the houses, to have their own special feast, their own special meal. It's called Women's Christmas or Little Christmas. And the women are supposed to be able to take a break after all the hard work. I'm not sure if the tradition is that the men do the cooking, because in truth I can't see that being much of a reason for celebration in most households. But anyway, be that as it may, today is supposed to be a day of rest, and also thank you to the ladies. Now, am I conscious also of what God himself has done for me, especially in this great gift, the gift of Jesus himself, who is a very personal gift from God to you? I think we all agree, there's nothing nicer than receiving a gift wrapped up. And you maybe slowly unwrap the gift. You perhaps there's a ribbon there, you untie the ribbon, lovely wrapping paper, perhaps there's a box inside, and there's a certain excitement in the unwrapping of the gift. But of course what really matters is what is inside the gift itself. And then the lovely ribbon, the paper, the box are discarded, and you stay with the gift, you treasure the gift. That is yours, and you keep it for yourself. Well, something similar happens with Christmas. We're now, as it were, putting away the wrapping paper, the ribbon, the paper, the box, the Christmas songs, the lights, the Christmas tree, the food. They're being kind of packaged away or put away for another year. But it's not that everything is over, because we are left with our treasure, Jesus. Are you really aware of this precious gift? But of course, recently we've all been thinking of our beloved late Pope Benedict, who in his way also was a great gift from God for the Church. And once he was meeting as Pope with a group of Italian schoolboys and girls who were making their first Holy Communion. And one of them asked him if he remembered his own first Holy Communion day. And this is what he answered. Of course I remember my first Communion day very well. It was a lovely Sunday in March 1936, 69 years ago. It was a sunny day. The church looked very beautiful. There was music. There were so many beautiful things that I remember. But at the heart of my joyful and beautiful memories is this one. I understood that Jesus had entered my heart. He had actually visited me. And with Jesus, God himself was with me. And I realized that this is a gift of love that is truly worth more than the other things that life can give. There's a great lesson for us in that, I think, in the sense that even this young little Joseph Ratzinger, who was 9 years old at the time, that he loves the sight of the beautiful church, the music, the sunny Sunday, the excitement, all these things. But he's very aware of what's at the heart of all this, and that was that Jesus was entering his heart. In other words, he wasn't excessively distracted by the wrapping, the music, the church, his first Holy Communion outfit, maybe the money he was given. They didn't distract him too much. He was still very aware what's at the core of this. And you and I, well, it would be good that now that we're putting away that wrapping paper, we would remember it's not over. We have been given this gift, Jesus. Jesus has entered our hearts. Also, Ratzinger says that he realized that a new stage in his life was beginning. And he says, I was 9 years old, and I knew that it was henceforth important to stay faithful to that encounter, to that communion. I promised the Lord as best I could, I always want to stay with you. And I prayed to him, but above all, stay with me. Quite something, quite a prayer. Let's remember that these days, that when we've packaged away things, but we are left with this great gift that Jesus has given us. And let's also ask Jesus, perhaps you, Lord, help me also to be very grateful to others for the things that they have done for me during this Christmas season. Mary and Joseph, fill my heart with gratitude for what so many people have done for me to make this Christmas special for me. but above all, make me grateful to God for the great gift that He has given to me in Jesus. I give you thanks, my God, for the good resolutions, affections, and inspirations you have communicated to me in this meditation. I ask you for help to put them into effect. My Mother Immaculate, Saint Joseph, my Father and Lord, my guardian angel, intercede for me.